As we progress through the Age of Fear, we're looking for any edge we can get. So controlling the amount of power that our character has and trying to take advantage of what we can, especially on the free-to-play side, is a good way to look at things when we're playing the game. Let's go ahead and talk through the 4 main power sources that we have in this game. Number 1, we have our account level. So maximum account level right now is 110. There's not a whole lot we can do there. We just need to keep playing the game, keep accumulating experience points, making sure we're finishing tasks. There's a lot of experience points that are attached to things in the milestones and in the command center. But basically, you're just trying to move your account forward to get to max level. Again, if we've been playing for a while, we have that. If we're still on our way, all you can do is what you can do. The reason why your account level is so important is because it is what is tied to everything else. It's the thing that connects to the rest of the progression steps and pulls everything else forward. That includes the second item that we're going to talk about, which is your gear tier. So for example, here we're looking at Eclipse. She's at gear tier 20. And you see on the left-hand side there, the little X in the unique spot, it's orange. That means I cannot equip it. I'm being blocked from doing that. I would need to raise my account level in order to get that piece. So here it's telling me that if I want to put that piece in, I need to be at level 110. This can present a very interesting situation for us. We can compare the level of investment, right? What do we plan on doing with said character that might determine what level we bring them to, because we know what gear tier we plan on putting on that character. By way of example, we have here Hercules. So Hercules, he's part of a bunch of different teams, Mighty Avenger, Uncanny Avenger. And when he came out at the time, again, gear tier 19 was kind of the max on the free-to-play side. So that's as far as we took him. I don't have any plans to take him up farther. So for him, he's at level 100, gear tier 19, because that was appropriate for the time. What we can learn from that information is if we're trying to penny pinch a little bit, maybe we bring characters up to gear tier 19 at the end game, bring them up to level 100, and then think about whether or not we want to take them higher. Maybe we want to stagger the power level that we have in a team. If we then bring the next group of people up to 105, then we know that we're going to be bringing those characters up to gear tier 20. So a lot of people did that. When we see some of the good results people had with the Daring Warriors in the last 2 Scourge events, they were selective in who they brought up. They brought up some of the stronger characters. Again, maybe Night Thrasher, maybe Daredevil. We saw some people bring characters up to level 110. And we saw people bring individuals up from only to 19 and some individuals up to gear tier 20. Since the economy is a little bit strange right now, it is a way for us to perhaps save a few resources, just kind of see how the team works at 19, level 100, and push forward from there. In addition, we want to be on the lookout for characters that will help us when it comes to unlocking Annihilus. We're going to have to take those characters to gear tier 21. Right now, the economy does not support us as free to play, bringing every character up that way. So we're going to need to be selective. One of the things we can do is start thinking about where the gear is going to come from when we're building those characters. Even if we're not working on Annihilus, just thinking ahead about that gear can help us prepare for other characters that are coming down the line. For example, if we look at my Daredevil here, it's not exactly in preparation for Annihilus, but I am missing that unique piece. Since he's an older character, he's built differently than the newer characters, right? He's an older reworked character. He's built differently than the newer characters. I'm missing that piece right there, that Crimson Palladium. Keep in mind, since he is an old school character, I can find that piece right there in the high tier store. So consider it's essentially a gear tier 19 piece for this particular character. Something, again, we want to look at. Characters as they come out are built different. They have different build requirements. The pieces that they need are going to be in different spots. It might be to our advantage to kind of look around. We might be able to take advantage of something that's already present that we can get for free that we don't have to pay for. In addition, let's just slide over here to the chapter store. We're talking about our Terra credits, and we want to look at these pieces here. Again, how can we prepare for the future? Well, that piece is a gear tier 20 piece, and it is a bio piece. Am I building any bio characters at this time? Probably not. But one of the things we do want to keep in mind is that symbiotes are a bio trait. So if we're all caught up, we know at some point in time there's a new symbiote team coming. So maybe we want to keep an eye out for pieces like this, right? So there's Gore in the middle. He's a symbiote. So maybe we want to keep an eye out for pieces like this. So I have a little bit more of this one. It's also a bio piece, but it's the same deal. Since I know that there is another team coming or there's another character coming, we have Malekith, maybe we're still working towards. We have Morph if we're playing free to play that we're still working towards. So those characters, again, Morph's a mutant. So looking for those pieces in advance and not waiting for that character to show up, then we don't have the things that we need to build them. We should start stockpiling them again in advance so that we're ready to bring that character up to the appropriate level that we've chosen. The next source of power we have is the character's star level. So again, on the right-hand side, we have our character shards. I have 40 out of 55 character shards for the high evolutionary. Thank you, Johnny. So we have a long way to go, right? I have 2 stars there unlocked. We have a long way to go to get this character maxed out. And so sometimes what happens, especially if we've been playing for a while, we forget that we need to continue to work on our characters, continue to get stars to build them up. Obviously, this is a high evolutionary is a newer character. We can't get him free to play. You would have to pay for those stars. But this is something on the free to play side that is meant to take place over the course of many months. So what happens is sometimes we forget and we don't put the proper power into our characters. We need to remember, again, there's 7 stars. They start out as yellow. When you get red stars, that amplifies the character's power. You need to get all 7 of those red stars put together in order to move on to the diamonds. If you just have regular red stars, you can get boosts of power, but you have to get all the way up to 7 stars before you can activate those diamonds. Because of that, I try to stay on task and build the characters that I'm supposed to be building. So once again, here we are in the chapter store. If we scroll down past the gear, we start getting into the characters. Now, I think that gear is more important. So you should absolutely be going for the gear, but you can't put the gear on if you don't have the character unlocked. So the person that I'm looking for right now is Malekith. I guess he's supposed to be right there with the high evolutionaries. That's that rotating spot. And since he's not here, for me at end game, I'm not going to purchase any of those characters. Now, there's different ideas and philosophies on this. I definitely like to hear in the comments what is the way that you're going about doing this? Do you try to push that character farther, get more and more stars, or do you work on the gear first? If we head over to the character store inside of the shop, again, we need to keep in mind that we have Ursa Major and Darkstar are now farmable. So we want to make sure we jump in there and get them every day if we're working on those characters. In addition, as we scroll down, we want to keep in mind that the reworked characters for teams might not appear at the top. So the newest characters will appear at the top, but just be mindful, the reworked characters for teams will not appear at the top. So there's Ronan, there's Minerva, Cull Obsidian. They're on the Omen team. I'm not building that team, but if you were, their character shards are farther down, as is Thanos and Sylvie, okay, who are part of the Shadow Conclave. So again, some of us as Elder Game players, we got those maxed out. But if we're not, we need to keep in mind, hey, the characters for the teams might be farther down, so it's worth taking a look. In addition, some of the newest characters that they make farmable are going to be in the hard mode campaign. So here, once again, we have Ursa Major. This is great. You can double dip on this. So we can buy some of them in the shop, and we can get some of them here on this node. If you're short on shop credits, then maybe we would avoid him in the shop and then just work on getting him in this node right here. These nodes are good because they also have one of the other items that we need, in this case, a gold orb, and in the other cases, training orbs. So as my daily farm, I just kind of go down and get those items. There aren't any newer characters here, but it's just good to keep in mind that this is usually where those characters end up in our farming. Here's Warlock, for example. He's on the team previous. So we might just have to look through, especially that Nexus hard section. Usually the last character in that node is something that they want us to farm up. This is how we're going to build those stars forward to max out those characters. Again, the only reason why we're bringing this up is because it takes months. It takes months on the free-to-play side. And so sometimes we forget that those characters are there and we stagnate our progress. The last area we want to focus on is our ISO 8. So ISO 8 is very common. We usually build it up. There's some debate on how far we should go depending on our play style. ISO, purple ISO, which is the third level of ISO. Level 3 is probably where most of us should end up. Maybe we can go to level 4. 5 is very difficult to get, so we want to hold off on pushing characters to level 5 unless it's something we absolutely need to do. One of the things that's going to be used for is getting blue marvel. That might be a whole nother video we need to talk about, because it's only going to apply, if we're going to unlock blue marvel, it's only going to apply to people from the previous age. It's only going to apply to characters for the most part that are in the age of Annihilus. So some debate there on whether or not we should be powering those characters up. But again, we assign ISO 8 to characters early. Usually we're able to keep up with that, but sometimes there is a point that we might forget, especially if we're older players. So my Jessica Jones there, she's still at purple, or excuse me, still at blue ISO. Why? Just because I forgot, right? She's an older character. So for the most part, it's just because I forgot. So this is a little bit of power that I could have used to increase the stats on my character. Keep in mind, ISO 8 does, at those different levels, does increase certain stats on your character. It will make them a little bit stronger, and sometimes every little bit helps. So again, reworked characters, especially if we've been playing for a while, if we're veterans, if we're using that team, it might be good to just take a look and make sure that we've built out the character. I only need that one piece, so I'm just being lazy. So I can click that. I can find, interestingly enough, here it is in the store. So yeah, I can get some of that piece. It's not enough to build her up, but I just need to remind myself, hey, I should finish this off. Maybe just using some of that ISO energy. It's free. We get it every day. Just something I probably want to try to take advantage of more. So again, be mindful. Your account level is the most important thing. It's what drives everything forward. Your account level is tied to your gear tier. Depending on the level that you bring the character, that dictates what gear tier you're able to use. We can maybe use that to our advantage if we know that we're not going to be maxing out that character. We could leave them a little bit weaker so that we can save a little bit more resources. You need to make sure we're farming up those gear pieces. Think ahead of what characters are coming. Grab them out of the store early if possible. And we, again, have our isotope 8. We're usually going to assign that early. We're usually going to assign that early when the character comes out, but especially for us elder game players, if we have older characters, just make sure that we're using the right ISO, I guess, in the first place, and where is it up to the level that we want it to be. And we forgot about star power. Star power is huge. So after gear level, stars give us an incredible burst in power. So we want to make sure, especially as free to play players, that we're farming those characters to make sure we can activate those red stars, pulling for those red stars when appropriate, buying them up when appropriate, and we need to get those maxed out so we can activate those diamonds. Do you have a philosophy yourself, a build pattern, a build routine that's working best for you? I definitely would like to hear more about it in the comments. And if you haven't had a time to watch this video here that we put together, please check it out. It's legit.